Hello, everybody. Oh gosh, I hit my lamp. Welcome to episode 2, or adventure 2 this evening of Beating Jeremy's DnDTime. I'm your dungeon master, Jeremy, and I am joined by 4 wonderful members of our community who are going to be playing with us this evening. We're running a tad bit late, so I'm just going to go quick. First and foremost, I'm sorry, everyone. I just said foremost. First, and one of actually the newest characters here in the lands of DnDTime, we have Robert, the Warforged Artificer. Robert, how are you doing?
I am well. How are you?
You know what, Robert? I'm doing pretty well. What brings you to Bartholomew's employ here as an adventurer?
I don't know.
Oh. That was a very fluid statement you just made there. You kind of lurchy a little bit with that first one, but I don't know, it was pretty
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Robert, tell me about yourself. Who are you? What do you what's your
I
MO
am
here in the
Robert.
Uh-huh.
I was built
Uh-huh.
a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
I think there are many of me.
Well, that's good. You're part of a people here in the land of DnDTime. Always
No.
good to know.
No. Hive mind. That's the word.
Oh no. So are there many Robert, or are you one Robert? Are you the Robert?
No, I'm not the Robert.
Are you a Robert?
I'm a Robert.
Okay. So what does a Robert find themselves doing in Bartholomew's employ? Is this part of some greater purpose, or
No.
just no? That was a
I
very
was
adamant
separated
no, Robert.
from my hive mind.
Oh. So what does that mean for you?
I don't know.
See.
I was shunted here.
Oh.
That is the word I would use.
Okay. From where?
Somewhere else.
You know what, Robert? I like the cut of your jib. Keeping it nice and straightforward. Well, Robert, I guess, what is an artificer? Like, what does this mean? These newfangled things.
Don't know yet.
Oh, you just put it on your application to be one of our Bartholomew's adventurers, but you're not sure what it is.
I loaded this programming.
After or before you were shunted here?
After I was shunted.
I'm not even going to go into this. Well, Robert, I'm sure we'll learn plenty about you as the adventure goes on, and your adventures in the land of DnDTime propagate. But you know what? I wish you the best at figuring out your situation now here in this futuristic timeline that you're in this strange new place.
This doesn't seem very futuristic.
All right, Robert, I see how it is. All right, our next hero this evening. No, Robert, actually, quick, before I move on to our next hero, Robert, you're a metal man of Warforged?
Yes.
So do you shine and gleam?
If I polish my metal.
Mm-hmm. Our next hero also shines and gleams if they polish their scales. Welcome, Aewni. How are you doing?
I'm a little confused, but otherwise I'm fine.
So, Aewni, you are a silver dragonborn, correct?
If I'm silver and look dragonborn, I must be a silver dragonborn.
Well, okay, there are like, what if you were like a silver half dragon? I don't know. I'm a dumb human. So, Aewni, do you polish your scales to shine and gleam?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. And is this like a thing that all silver dragonborn do as part of like your culture, or is this just like a fun thing that you just do to kind of stand out and be special?
I wouldn't call it a fun thing, but I do call it a thing I do. My sister never does it, at least daily. like I would. My sister does it whenever she goes to the spa. Otherwise, her scales stay unnaturally clean for no reason because she's just lucky like that.
Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, it's like freckles, right? Like, I imagine if your scale's kind of dull, it's like, I got freckles or pimples or something, right? You need to be a little more careful than those people who just are naturally lucky and don't have those problems. Not saying that you have Dragonborn pimples. That's not what I mean, Aewni.
See, I think it's something to do with a rock where she lives. It's like it's soapstone chalk.
Oh,
Pretty sure it's
stuff.
chalk.
That makes sense. Aewni, where do you live? If your sister, I mean, not gonna say they're maybe a little bit more prominent of an adventurer here, Hiyori, is. But Aewni, how about you? Where do you stay?
I have a small apartment in Central City.
I heard the rent is crazy there.
You wouldn't know. Side jobs other than this.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it doesn't help that Bartholomew doesn't pay you like gold. You know?
Nope. And it also doesn't serve me well that my sister was also lucky again and happens to have a ton of money never given to her, and she won the lawsuit.
Oof. I'm not gonna get into that because that sounds like some family issues. But Aewni, I'm glad that you're back here in this adventure, and I'm sure this is a really good opportunity for you. I mean, the word diamonds are in the title for it. That's got to be a good sign for getting some money. Welcome back. Great to have you, of course.
Also, there are no problems between my sister and I. It's just I'm extremely unlucky.
Well, sometimes. Our next hero is maybe one of the most wild is the term of the Galanodel clan. Jesse, welcome.
Ishnu Allah.
What? I apologize. Dumb human tongue. I don't speak other languages. I can't do it. Even human languages.
Yes. Good fortune to you.
I'll take it. Jesse, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I don't believe we have spoken. This is my first time going out on an adventure.
You know, like a lot of the Galanodels, you seem a lot like, more prepared than most of the adventurers coming into Lands of DnDTime. Just like, do the Galanodels have like a training regimen that all of the members of the clan need to go through?
Yes, and also this duffel bag helps.
Oh, of course. You carrying around the Galanodel duffel bag. I see a lot. It seems every time a Galanodel comes out, they've got the duffel bag. Is it a family heirloom of some kind?
I believe that Bartholomew messed with it a little bit, and now it has this little name tag here, and she holds up the duffel bag, and it says Galanodel on like one of those little square pieces of paper that you slip into the little plastic sleeve on the side.
Excellent. And does that give it different magical properties?
Well, it's technically a bag of holding. Is what I believe the present was from Christmas.
It's a very interesting a magical property for a duffel. I mean, it's a pretty useful property for a duffel bag. The problem is like, how big is a bag of holding, right? Like,
well, the further question is, how big is a duffel bag of holding?
Yeah, right. Because like a bag of holding can be 4 feet deep and 2 feet in diameter. That sounds kind of just like the dimensions of a duffel bag.
Yeah.
So it's just a much lighter duffel bag?
Who knows?
Well, regardless, Jesse, it is wonderful to have you hanging out with us today. Is there anything that like made you decide that today was the day to come out and have your first real adventure? Because I mean, a lot of your family members have adventured with.
The moon was especially beautiful today. Selune's blessing be upon us.
Oh, another a devotee of Selune. Well, Jesse, welcome. I wish you the absolute. I mean, if the moon is in your favor, of course, whom I agree. Mm-hmm. What you said, I assume it's a good thing. Jesse, welcome back. It's great to welcome for the first time. It's great to have you. And last but certainly not least in our adventuring party is the one, the only, the man who rolls the bones, Mr. Skeltal. Mr. Skeltal, how are you doing?
I do well.
Now, Mr. Skeltal, you are, or you were a human at some point a long time ago. And I can see that, like...
Allegedly so.
Yeah, well, like most of the...
I don't know, perhaps I was several humans.
Who knows?
Does
right?
one ever really know?
Well, I feel like you could tell, like, minor... I hear that you can tell by the teeth if it was one skeleton. Do all of your teeth seem like they fit correctly in your skull?
Teeth, fine, but some of the other bones seem odd.
Like maybe that's not your real... I was wondering why one leg was slightly longer than the other.
And a couple of the fingers look a little strange today.
Well, I mean, do you really question it though? If you can strum the lute as beautifully as you can, and why would you question a slightly different shaped tooth with such a beautiful voice? Mr. Skeltal, I think you might be one of the few, maybe even the only representative of the undead amongst the bardic institutions here in the lands of DnDTime. Of course, you're an adventurer in Bartholomew's company, but that's almost like an unofficial bard college in its own right, you know?
There are many things to be learned from Bartholomew, not all of which are particularly bardic, and not all of which are necessarily particularly worth learning. He is quite the peculiar person.
I see. What are some of the incredible skills that you've learned from Bartholomew that maybe weren't worth learning? Like you learned them, and then even with your probably infinite undead life, thought, man, even that was a waste of my time. Just give me three.
I think there was a class that he was holding on the physics of spreading marshmallow fluff that just seemed rather bizarre.
You know what? For someone who probably can't, can you taste? Because you're basically just a skeleton.
I could taste once, I think.
So I guess maybe you wouldn't understand the purpose of having fluff perfectly distributed over your bread. I'm sorry. Two more things.
Well, I remember fluff wasn't the only one, but fluff was the one that seemed strangest in that one. We also, I think, did butter, mayonnaise, and gelatin or something like that.
Did Bartholomew just make a class about making his lunch? Did Bartholomew just co-opt a bunch of lower-level adventurers to make him lunches?
I don't think it was lunches. I think for him, I think he was like trying to put together something for some other adventuring party, and none of the creations worked out well. It was there were some rather uninspiring looking contraptions that got put into that lunch basket. I think one person confused the mayo and the fluff and put them with put mayo and peanut butter together. I heard that there were quite a few issues.
Of course. Well,
yes, quite a few issues with that party.
Regardless, I'm glad you're back doing something hopefully a little bit more productive than making sandwiches or learning to make sandwiches. And of course, I hope you have a great adventure. And so, as our adventure comes to a start, the group of you have been called into Bartholomew's shop, as frequently happens. You've all made your way there from your various different means, some of you traveling by foot to the several entrances scattered throughout the lands of DnDTime, or even into the old wood where the original shop stands. Others of you maybe didn't show up when summoned and were teleported here at the last moment. Regardless of the reason, you all find yourselves currently shunted into Bartholomew's shop. However, Bartholomew isn't around. He has no time for this kind of a mission right now. Instead, you see a gnome. He wears a green robe. He's fairly short, got a big pointy hat covered in stars. And as he looks at all of you, he says,
Oh, hello,
everybody.
Roger.
Hi, Mr. Skeltal. Hello, newcomers. I'm Roger. I'm the intern here at the shop. And I have a mission for you, actually. This one came real quick. I'm not sure we've met. Jesse, I think you kind of have the jawline of a Galanodel, I presume.
But you were just looking at my bag.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Insight.
Roll me an insight check. Roger goes, duh. With your 6, Roger is sweating and kind of shaking a little bit. He's anxiously looking around, and Jesse, you don't notice any of that because you just can't get over how like garish his like dark green robes are. They don't look nice like dark blue robes or even like dark red robes, and it's hard to get past that. So you don't notice any of this obvious signs he's and seems uncomfortable. But to everyone else in the room, Roger definitely just looked at the duffel bag. He quickly changed the subject though, and you, my good sir, Robert. He kind of looks at a clipboard. Robert,
Correct.
you literally just showed up. Can you sign here at the dotted line? Kind of holds the clipboard up to you.
I understand this will give me immortality.
Yeah, actually, it will.
Excellent. I sign.
Okay. Well, anyway, he kind of throws the clipboard
Roger.
on the shoulder. Yes.
When was the last time you experienced death anxiety?
Frequently. Anyway,
Unfortunately, I was also given this.
Well, you don't have to worry anymore. Hopefully you won't die in this adventure, or maybe you will die and then you won't be afraid anymore. Anyway, Aewni, it's good to see you as well, and Mr. Skeltal, of course.
I have one question.
Yes.
Isn't gelatin made from bone?
Oh my goodness, Aewni, were you in that class too? Ugh. Look, you thought you all had it bad. He made me eat the sandwiches. Anyway, we got the mission.
I'm sorry.
You should be. Roger sighs exasperatedly. Anyway, there's been something of a crime spree in Central City. I have one of the guards, Captain of the Guard. What was his name?
Why are people crying?
Crime.
Oh,
Like thievery. I don't know the specifics of it, but I've set you up a mission with Roger. I know it's weird that he's got the same name as me, but he spells his with a D, which I think is kind of wrong. You know what I mean? Anyway, he just goes by Sergeant Foulway. I'm going to send you out to him. He is one of the guards in Central City. Talk to him. He should get you all figured out. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I expect you all to get to the bottom of it. It doesn't seem to be anything too dangerous or supernatural, so hopefully you can figure it out.
Before we go,
Sure.
I would like to cast Goodberry, and I would like to give each of my companions 2 good berries.
So when you cast Goodberry, do you just like grow it off of like a twig that you hold, or do you just wave your hand and say some magic words and it appears like a twig with berries appears in your hand or something?
No. I just open my hands and there's berries.
Oh, right. It's even easier. Excellent. So Jesse offers each of you good berries. How many good berries are you giving everyone?
I'm giving each of the 3 allies that I have 2, leaving 4 for me.
Okay. Do you guys all accept your good berries, or do you say, no, I hate these good berries? Throw them on the ground.
Of course.
I take them.
Roger.
Mr. Skeltal stashes 1 in each eye socket.
Oh, goodness. Roger says, oh, good bear. They're not for me, are they?
I give
Anyway.
Roger 1.
Thank goodness he pops one in his mouth. This is great. I haven't had lunch. Anyway, right through the door, it's been set up. It should lead you right out of the Last Hope Tavern in Central City. So that should give you a brief travel there. The guard should be waiting for you, Mr. Fowley. Good luck. And
I thought
Roger
you said
says,
he was Sergeant Fowley.
Oh, yeah, if you're talking to him, he should be Sergeant Fowley.
Very well.
I mean, you can call him Mr. Fowley too, but that's kind of rude. You know?
I will call him City Dweller.
Oh, that's, I think, rude. Anyway, go through the door. Hey, Roger kind of goes over and he opens the door to the shop. And you see on the other side, it's not like the forest that Bartholomew shop normally resides in. Instead, you see a bustling cobblestone roads filled with people and wagons passing by. You hear the sounds of pack animals like mawing in the distance. And yeah, people walking to and fro.
Roger, before we go, this is for you. It is a rock that chirps like a bird. It will continue to do so until I decide it doesn't.
He looks at the rock. It's beautiful, thank you.
Yes, I detected you liked birds.
I love birds. This is
Excellent.
blue thresh. I don't know, woodpecker?
No. I walk away.
Yeah, okay. You walk out the door. You guys walk out the door. You see Roger's like listening intently at the rock, which is making chirping sound that Robert has just given him. But you all walk out of the shop and into Central City. You see there are fairly tall buildings. You're sort of in the outskirts of it, so they don't go above 2 or 3 stories here, but that's still pretty large for the kind of medieval society that is the land of DnDTime. You know they get pretty large as you get further in. But yeah, right now it just looks like people going to and from their daily lives, their jobs, livelihoods, all that good stuff.
What's the weather going to be like?
You want to use Druidcraft?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, you use Druidcraft. It's going to be cloudy. Not like partly cloudy, but like straight up cloudy. It's partly cloudy right now.
Is there
So
going to be rain?
full 8 octa cloudy.
Let's see, what does this tell you precisely? Predicts the weather.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat this like a weather report, so I'm gonna say 40% chance of rain or precipitation.
Cool.
You use your Druidcraft, and a small weatherman shows up with like a little arrow, and he shows Central City and the weather patterns, and 40% chance of rain.
I like to imagine that in Central City there's a big like jumbo screen and the weather just pops on when I cast this spell.
Exactly right. It had an ad for Farku's what is it? Fox Sakes Sky Castle, but it doesn't have anything else. It's like, you want your ad on this Sky Castle? Call this number, but now it just shows the weather. But yeah, as you kind of stand just out in the city, you hear a voice clear their throat behind you. And as you look around, you see an older, maybe like mid-50s, early 60s kind of gentleman. He's kind of got salt and pepper mutton chops and a bit of a beard that's grown in. He's wearing standard kind of guard attire of the Central City Police instead, including the kind of plinth-like bucket helmet that medieval guards tend to wear. Or not bucket helmet, plinth-like helmet. And he looks at you and says, hello, I'm Sergeant Falway. You must be the adventurers, given that you appeared out of thin air in front of the doorway to the shop. And looking behind him, it appears to be a bustling shop or tavern.
Ishnu, City Dweller.
Aewni will pull out and offer the sergeant a bottle of scotch.
Apologies, I can't accept gifts while on the job.
Okay, where can I mail this? Because you always look like you need a drink.
He kind of like thinks, oh, yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Okay.
This is kind of important. There's some high-profile individuals who are a little upset right now. Someone has been stealing jewelry, and not just any jewelry, not simple gold bands or semi-precious necklaces, but
Diamonds,
the good
right?
stuff. Diamonds. Yeah. It's, well, as I'm sure you know, diamonds are a very powerful and sought-after spell component, and so used in jewelry, they're even more precious. And so we have to get to the bottom of this because you know how it goes. With money comes pressure, power. I can send you in the direction of one of the locals who are having some trouble, or who had something stolen. They agreed to allow us a brief search of their establishment.
Alright.
What makes diamonds so valuable, precisely?
Well, they're very hard to come by. They can be used as components in magical spells. That's, as far as I know, that's it. I'm not a spellcaster myself. I'm not an expert in the nature.
They're also extremely durable.
That is true.
Could one make armor from them?
I don't know anyone who'd have enough diamonds to make armor from diamond.
I don't think you can.
That seems ridiculous.
Since they're crystalline structure, if you apply a high amount of bludgeoning force, you'll just shatter the entire thing.
I figure you need at least 9 diamonds, or 8 maybe if you're skimping on the neck for a breastplate, and then another 4 for the boots. Anyway, we can figure that out. Anyway,
24.
Those would be very large diamonds.
I think 24 diamonds, yeah.
Robert
anyway,
Prime could
there have
make
been
diamonds.
many more than 24 stolen. It's been...
How many?
Well, they've just been going through the neighborhoods, the wealthy neighborhoods. People have had all of their precious jewelry stolen, even hidden away well in boxes and well secured, and I don't know. You're going to have to go and check it out for yourself. I have to handle this on the political side, which is always the worst.
How will we know if we retrieve all of the diamonds? If we do not know how many?
Oh, you don't need to retrieve the diamonds. You need to stop the thief, whoever's taking them.
Eliminate the
These
threat.
Very wealthy individuals, they can replace their diamonds. Just if they do it too many times, they're going to start to get very angry. And that'll be on my head.
So we need to eliminate the threat.
I'm actually for this adventure. Eliminate the wealthy individuals.
No, oh, hold on. Whoever's stealing the diamonds,
Oh,
whatever is taking the diamonds, need to stop.
yes. That.
Oh dear. Anyway.
Would not.
Steps up to you, Mr. Skeltal and Aewni, who kind of like a little away, I imagine, from Robert and Jesse, who knew most of the talking. And he hands over to you two a little pad of paper with an address on it. And he says, these are the burgeons. They have offered to, well, let us investigate their residence for signs of whoever these thieves could be.
Alright.
That could well be useful.
Do we have any ideas about who the thieves are?
Like I said, I've been doing damage control. I've been dealing with the politicking side of things, so it's kind of on you to figure it out.
Do you have any subordinates that would be doing detective work?
We've sent detectives. They haven't found anything. Which is why I've hired adventurers. I'm assuming this is some sort of magical threat. Or doing.
Certainly. Okay, we can see to it. I just
He kind of
want
gets
to
up
see
close a little
everything.
bit. And plus, I don't know about you, if you've ever been around Central City, I think the Morts could have something to do with it.
You think? I've lived here for a little bit.
This is just a suspicion. They seem to always be behind whatever goes wrong here. So,
I have never been to Central City. What is a mort?
look, I don't have any more time to sit here and chat. I need to go. If you want to chat amongst each other, feel free. But please get to the bottom of this, and I'll make sure you're.
Okay.
We'll see you
share this-
all. And he hands you a little bundle of paper, which includes like a search warrant for that house. He says, "All right, good luck."
Thank you. Scotch later.
Yes. And he heads off, seemingly a little distracted and a little frustrated at just everything that's going on.
Aewni, I will pay you money if you tell me what a mort is. Real money, not the old
believe-
wizard currency.
I believe a mort is a person. It's like a last name. Like a noble family or of some sort, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Would you
I-
like an actual description of what a mort is?
Yes.
Well, you see, and they go into a complete and total description of like the morts, their activities.
Well, I will. Do you want me to say that for you, Switch, or would you like to?
I can go through the whole blurb if you have time.
I mean, you want to keep it short, short and sweet. The Morts are a crime syndicate within Central City. They are a bunch of humanoids that all look very similar through different sorts of magic. Some of them by illusion, some of them by actual transformative properties. They all appear to be middle-aged men with
Shabbily dressed, balding.
yeah, shabbily dressed, balding, and they talk something like that. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much the Morts. They get away with what they do because they all look very similar, and so who's to say that this Mort did this or that Mort did that? They kind of blend in as a crowd.
So, like,
Can they not just get rid of all the morts at once?
Yeah, you would think that Central City would have filed some kind of class action lawsuit by now.
You think?
well,
Oh, laws.
it is a crime syndicate. It sounds like they're very much like me, but with more illusion. So there must be a Mort Prime.
The Mort Prime. So the person that you're based off of, or basically
Robert
the
Prime.
head of what? Okay.
As you have this
Was there a
conversation,
question?
you're walking
No.
down the street.
There was a question.
And
Well,
you-
I promised you money, so here is money. I open a chest compartment that seems to have a weird coin collection bin, and just take out a handful of coins and hand it to A.
Thanks. This'll help.
I don't need it. I don't have the same properties Robert Prime had anymore.
I see.
Though I believe the slot is still there. I take out one of the coins and put it like where my mouth would generally be. I don't really have a mouth. And like a slot opens up and I just push the coin in. Yep. Coin slot's still there.
Aewni, as you marvel at this strange mechanical man, you realize that you've walked all the way to the address on the paper you were given. You see a sprawling medieval estate. You're very much away from like the most busy, burgeoning part of the city at this point. There are many like large mansion-esque properties here, although the actual plots of land are still fairly small, given that it's just outside of a major, or the major city. But yeah, you see what looks like a large multi-story estate. There are some beautiful, what is it, topiary fixtures in the yard. Shrubs shaped to look like ducks or elephants or various animals. There's also a large kind of wrought iron gate with a big stylized bee at the front that looks similar to the Bartholomew bee that you know, but just different enough to definitely not be Bartholomew. No one appears to be out here by the gate.
I swear to God, if this is something to do with a ghost of the past, present, and future, I'm going to cut someone.
Jeremy, would you describe this as a beautiful burgeoning bungalow?
I guess if you would like, you could describe it as a beautiful burgeoning bungalow if you want. I'm not sure, like, that's the exact correct description for it, but you could do it. I wouldn't stop you.
Would you say that it's a big, burgeoning, beautiful bungalow?
That is closer.
Okay.
And it has great alliteration, so I'm always more inclined to say yes if it has great alliteration. But yeah, big closed wrought iron gate. There's a fence around it, of course. You see all these topiaries that are kind of blocking sight into the ground. But at the main gate, you look through and you can see this big old house, manor at the top of a slight hill. There's a cobbled kind of almost pathway up to it.
So,
what would you like to do?
Mr. Skeltal would like to know if he can fit his skull through the bars of the gate.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Skeltal,
like broad enough that you could do that. In fact, you could. Oh, it'd be hard with the ribs, but you could probably squish yourself through if you wouldn't mind dislocating a few ribs.
I can always put them back. It's not like they're terribly hard to access at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Skeltal just kind of like pulls off his ribs and slips through the gate, and then sticks his ribs back on. In absolutely a different order.
Yeah, excellent. You all watch this happen, and Mr. Skeltal, from the inside of the gate, you can see a couple of things inside this house. You see that there is, to your right, I mean, it's not a very large part of the property. The gate isn't centered by any means in this plot. It just kind of goes maybe 20 feet, and then there's a wall, right, that goes back to wall off the property. But to your left, there's maybe 100 feet, a fairly large plot. You see a small pond, which probably houses some kind of fish. There's some nice decorations, around it. Small stone decorations and structures, maybe reminiscent of Yuan-Ti temples you might see out in the jungle or something like that. You're not really super familiar with all this kind of stuff, but it's definitely meant to be decorative, but probably isn't right on, like, it's not historically accurate. But what you also see is you see a very, very large guard dog looking figure, and they are hunched up under a tree, maybe like 70 feet to your left, and they appear to be snoozing.
Do I see a way to open the gate from inside the gate?
There appears to be a keyhole. A key
mechanism.
And I'm sorry.
So there's not like a latch on the inside that can be used to unlock the gate without the key?
Yeah, no, there definitely is a latch, but it's not like, you would definitely need the key to unlock. The latch is more of like a temporary thing if you don't want to lock the door, but you want it to like be closed temporarily, like for a short time. But yeah, there's not really any way to do it unless you can like pick the lock or if you have the key.
What if we make the lock mechanism so cold and then beat it with something to smash it.
Is
to snap
is the
freeze.
gate unlocked?
No, the gate is locked currently.
How
And
tall
there-
is the gate?
About 8-9 feet. It's like pretty sizable. Definitely
Was there-
meant to be like
Dangerous points on top of the gate?
not at this like center part. It's probably a little higher at the center part. There are little spikes along the like actual fence part, but here where it actually is a gate, probably actually goes probably 13-14 feet because it kind of arches a little. But no, there's no spikes. That
What
wouldn't
was-
look good.
All right, I'll climb over the gate.
What
You're
was
gonna
the
try and climb over the
answer?
gate.
Yeah.
And
What was
what
it?
was your question?
My question was, could we just, snap freeze the gate open?
I mean, maybe. I'm not gonna say you can't. You could try.
These are
Okay.
wealthy people. I doubt they would have not
But-
magic protected their lock.
Aewni, you're trying to. I'm sorry, not Aewni. Jesse, you're trying to get over the gate. Mr.
Yeah.
Skeltal, I assume you convey what you see to your party.
Yes.
Okay. With the knowledge of there being like a big old guard dog and some other stuff, do you guys be trying to be like quiet or stealthy getting in, or do you just climb over? Whatever. Who cares if I rattle it around? Jesse.
Sure, I'll be stealthy.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Skeltal,
Yes.
can you move without specific bones?
It depends on the bones. Which are you thinking of?
Do you need ribs?
Not particularly all of them. Why?
I had an idea, and you probably won't like it, but I would
Well,
hope. Dogs like bones, right?
Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll a perception check for the dog, because the dog does have keen hearing, but they're also like asleep. So I'm going to give them what would be disadvantage from sleep, but then advantage from their keen hearing. So I'm just going to give them a normal roll to see if they hear Jesse, just clamber over. They do not appear to. Jesse, you climb on up and hop over. You are on the side with Mr. Skeltal, and you see this like pretty big guard dog.
Is it pretty big or really big?
It's really big.
Nice.
Aewni, what were you saying again?
Dogs like bones, right?
Yeah, and Mr. Skeltal's made of bones.
I don't want to throw Mr. Skeltal at the dog. I want to throw useless bones at the dog. That way Mr. Skeltal can still do
Well,
things.
you're still on the outside with your buddy Robert. Mr.
This-
Skeltal and Jesse are now on the inside.
I'd like to approach really big guard dog.
You want to like sneak toward the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get within melee range.
Yeah, you start tiptoeing toward the dog. Mr. Skeltal, you see Jesse like start walking toward the dog. Do you have any weapons drawn, Jesse?
Well, I always have my stick.
Okay, so you see Jesse like with like a quarterstaff kind of deal.
And a wooden shield, yeah.
Okay, like stealthily walking toward the dog. In what seems maybe like a bit of an aggressive manner. Aewni and Robert, you're still outside.
Yes.
Have either of you acted at this point?
No, I have been observing all of their behaviors.
Okay.
Robert, what are the chances that you break open this door?
I could, or I could pick the lock.
Either would be great, because we need to get in there before something with this aforementioned dog happens.
Okay, I attempt to pick the lock.
Are you proficient with these tools?
Yes.
All right. So the lock is on the other side of the gate, right? It's on the inside. It'd be
Mhm.
locked from the inside. But you just, I imagine, stick your arms through, and your wrists, because you're a Warforged, can turn at like weird angles.
hmm
And so they turn like perfectly, and like there's some slight clicking sounds, and the door clicks finally and seems to unlatch to this like, and the two sides to the gateway split apart, allowing you to just pull them open.
If that had failed, I would have melted it with acid.
Alright, both of that would have been useful. I suppose the door is gonna make door's gonna make doors when we open it. Noise, sorry.
Not really. I mean, not that much. Not more than like is ambient to the surrounding area.
Okay, so they like to oil their doors. That's great for us. Let's open
That's
the
good.
door.
I don't have to use any of my oil.
As you two step in with Mr. Skeltal, you all look over, and Jesse has approached the guard dog. Jesse, you're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it with a big ol' steak.
What?
I take out a ration from my pack, and I take out a big juicy steak, a big old yummy.
That's not a
Blood.
ration, Jesse. A steak is not a ration.
What are you talking about?
A dripping wet, like bloody steak is not a ration.
Are you
ration
sure
is like
it's not a
crappy
Are you-
jerky.
ration?
Hold on. Let me just ask my good lizard folk buddy.
Well, their ration is whatever they find that is edible.
But what if
I
this is a
will eat
Galanodel
literally
ration?
anything.
Yeah, so I take out.
Galanodel rations.
I believe that these are rations that weigh 2 pounds, so this is a 2-pound steak.
I don't know, man.
It is a 21 for the animal handling.
And here's a 21 for the animal handling. So I imagine. All right, Jesse. Just this once, because you rolled so high, you happen to have packed a huge steak this morning.
Hold on, let me
Just in
just look in the
case.
player's handbook here, and let me look at the DnDTime rules. Anything under 100 gold in the player's handbook, right?
Not quite.
All right, I take out a cow.
Oh dear.
That would have had its own issue. Let's see. What is the definition of a ration? Consists of dry food edible for extended travel, including jerky, dried fruit, hardtack, and nuts.
It's all right. I always carry steak with my cooking
Sorry.
utensils.
All right, you guys have steak. You throw a steak at this dog, and it goes and starts eating the steak and seems to not care at all about your presence.
Oh, I'm gonna scratch his ears.
And as you're looking at him, he's large, but he's really large. Or she, you can't really. It's a dog lying on its stomach.
I'm a
it's-
druid. Let me get in there. Is it a guy or girl?
Roll me a nature check.
Sure. Oh, int-based skill. Yeah.
Good for Drew. Oh wow, it's a guy dog. It's just its size, like it's in like a really big guard dog, but that big is in the horizontal direction. It's a big fat guard dog that probably doesn't have to do a lot of guarding.
Especially after the steak.
Yeah, well, and yeah, exactly. So you give it a nice juicy steak, and it starts eating it. It accepts your scratches. Doesn't like even growl or bark or anything at you. It kind of just nuzzles into your hand. It seems totally fine. You look into the little pond, and there are a couple of koi fish just kind of swimming around.
All right, take out some breadcrumbs. Throw it in the koi fish pond.
They ravenously go at them. It looks like they are not fed often enough.
Yeah.
Aewni is going to proceed forward into the housing area that we have a warrant for because these people are just feeding the damn pets.
Okay, so you're walking up toward the house. Sure, you walk right up. There's a big old door with some, well, like, you know, a knocker on it. And it's got some decorative trim and whatnot. You want to knock on the door?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock on the door because I really don't care. I don't find doors all that intimidating, no matter how large they are, unless it's a.
Okay, You knock on the door, and after a moment, a elven butler approaches or opens the door. Hello, who are you? What? How did you get past the gate?
We opened it.
You should have rung the bell. I would have come out to meet you.
Well,
You must be Sergeant Falway's cronies.
cronies, more like
I
the
believe-
mysteries of Bartholomew.
Yes, Bartholomew's cronies.
Very well. What would you like to see? Have you gotten to the
Everything.
bottom of the issue yet?
No, apparently not. So we were sent here to deal with it.
He rolls his eyes. Very well. Lady Burgeonson will be pleased to know that at least doing something about this. And he kind of steps back and gestures for you to enter. Entering in, it's a very rich house. You know, there's all sorts of beautiful, like, paintings and stuff affixed upon the wall. There are little pedestals set up with, like, big clay urns and pottery and look like kind of relics and things like that. It's a very wealthy seeming area. There's a staircase that goes up to the next level, and there's like a big sitting room with like a big fireplace and stuff here on the first level. And he says, well, what would you like to see?
Where was the robbery?
That would be up in my lady's bed quarters.
Bring us there.
Would your lady mind if we viewed that area?
But of course, he kind of nods and starts to lead you kind of up the stairs. It's, you know, there's everything's either carpeted here or very nice hardwood floor. The stairs are actually carpeted, and as he's kind of walking up, he just, he kind of groans and looks down as he steps in something. It's just, the guards are trailing in filth again. Kind of wipes his foot off. I'll have to clean that up. My apologies. Please avoid the stain. And continues to guide you up the stairs.
No, I stopped
Okay.
at the dirt.
So
gonna, investigate this dirt.
Robert, you stop and you look down. What about everyone else? Do you just continue to follow this butler?
Yeah, Aewni will follow while Robert investigates the dirt. I think that's a fine idea, because if he finds anything, then we're gonna know about it. I'm gonna just kind of peer around, look for any, like, broken glass or anything, any signs of forced entry or forced exit.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
I'm still petting the dog.
Okay, so you're still outside petting the dog.
Mr. Skeltal is like rolling up the stairs and just kind of bumps into the back of Robert.
Okay. So you stop with Robert. So, Aewni, I'm going to start with Aewni and then go back to the rest of you. Aewni, you head up into this lavish bed quarter, right? There's a big four-poster bed. There's, like, silks and other very elegant, rich cloth kind of things hanging from the corners. And it's a very beautiful, elegant room, very colorful. Paintings on the wall depicting a wealthy kind of Victorian style oil painting of a woman. Presumably that's Miss Burgeonson. And yeah, you are let in, you look around, and so what are you asking exactly? You're looking for signs of forced entry.
Forced entry or forced exit?
Can you roll me a perception check?
I will do just that.
Okay, and then can you roll me an investigation check?
Both of these are terrible.
So yeah, you're looking around and you're not seeing anything. And the butler says, yes, we haven't cleaned the room at all since the incident, expecting you may want to look around, but as I mentioned, there's no sign of anything. And looking around, you're not seeing signs of anything. There are no footprints, no disturbed glassware on the windows. The windows are glass, and they have a nice lock, which really can only be unlocked from the inside, as most window locks can. They're not even remotely accessible from the outside. And yeah, there's no sign of any anything. In fact, even there's like a large kind of chest on the side of the room, and the butler brings you over to it and says, "This is where my lady keeps her things." And he takes out a big brass key and clicks it in, and he says, "As you can see, no damage to the mechanism," and flips it open. And you see it's filled with things, right? There are a few like jewels, like emeralds or sapphires or things like that. There's gold bands and pearl necklaces and all sorts of things, and he points out, not a single diamond remains. All stolen.
Did the butler have any gloves on his hands?
No, he did not. He's very, very thin, kind of elven fingers. Very, sleek and graceful.
Was the key out in the open when he grabbed it, or was it just?
He keeps it on him, on a key ring.
I see. Where do you place that key ring at night, or when everyone's gone to sleep?
I keep it on me at all times. As you know, I'm an elf. I do not have to sleep in the way that normal beings do. And he explains to you, right, what a trance is for elves, which means that he stays semi-conscious even when he's resting, to the point where he could tell if something was like touching him or anything like that. So he is convinced that it was not stolen from him. And it's a pretty big trunk here that the lady keeps all her stuff in. It's about, 4 by 3 feet deep and 3 feet tall. It's very large. It's got a couple of shelves in it, but it's big. Meanwhile, back on the stairs, Robert, you stopped at this mess on the ground, right?
Yes.
You look at it, and it's ground into the carpet. Clearly, it's been stepped on a couple of times. And you can see there are signs. Well, actually, roll me, I guess, an investigation check. What are you trying to find out about it? It appears to be a muddy stain.
How long has it been here?
Okay, that would probably be a medicine check or a nature check. Not medicine, a nature check, probably.
Well, my nature and investigation are the same.
Oh, sure. Investigation's fine, too.
I
Looking
have
at it.
an herbalism kit.
Oh, okay. You want to roll me an herbalism kit check, too. That can give you different information. You're looking at it.
Yeah, I'm
Robert?
going to come out. Well, real fast, I'm going to come out.
Sure.
And then they're still looking at this dirt because I have the herbalism kit.
Let me get through their stuff first, then, because Mr. Skeltal and
Okay, sure.
Robert are there first.
Yeah,
So,
that works.
Yeah, Robert, you're looking at it, and it seems very fresh. You put your finger in it, it's wet, still, surprisingly. Obviously, it has not dried out like you would expect mud to do so. And in fact, it kind of feels greasy a little bit. In a way that mud definitely does not feel. Kind of smushed into the carpet, it looks just like mud.
What?
But
Does it look like there's some sort of footprint associated with it?
yeah, definitely.
This is going to sound like an odd question, but can I tell if it was a shoe?
Yeah, no, I mean there definitely have been shoes that have stepped on it.
Can I tell what originally left the footprint using my cobbler's tools?
I'm not sure you can, because it's been stepped on a lot. Like it's been trampled.
I turn to Mr. Skeltal. This is far more greasy than it should be at this point. I taste it.
It tastes like oil. Like the kind of oil you would use to like grease your joints.
I may have committed this robbery. I am now a suspect.
So Aewni can finally exit.
I was going to say, Mr. Skeltal, do you have anything you want to say, or do we have Aewni jump in at this point?
Mr. Skeltal kind of picks his takes his head off and like holds it right up close and tries to get as close a look at this oily dirt grime and try to figure out if he knows where something like this might come from.
Okay. Only like a history check then. Yeah, I mean, as far as you can tell, it seems like the kind of stuff that you would imagine, someone might use to grease their armor, maybe. It's so hard to tell because it's smeared into the rug and it's been trampled and stepped on. And, like, you find some blood nearby from someone who slipped on it and obviously, like, hurt themselves.
Can I make an Arcana check to determine if it has any magical properties or was perhaps magically conjured?
Yeah, you could try. It's going to be very, very hard, though. And this is when, Aewni, you come around the top. And, Jesse, are you still just outside with the dog?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to get to Jesse after. But, Aewni, you walk around the top.
Are you two still investigating that spot?
Yes.
I haven't
It is
heard-
oil.
Oil.
I
I
may be
haven't
a suspect.
I have an herbalism kit if we'd like to check it further.
Certainly. I'm tasting it for magic.
Yeah, as you taste it for magic, it definitely seems kind of magical. Like, I guess it's almost like in real life, if you have like olive oil, it's got that kind of viscosity to it, versus like synthetic motor oil for like a car is very, very thin, despite still being very slippery. It's more on that kind of level. It appears to be something that like isn't entirely natural, is your guess. Kind of hard to tell more than that.
This is not entirely natural.
Okay.
You're also looking at it. The butler has followed you out.
Give us a second.
Rolls his eyes.
Hey, Mr. Skeltal.
Yes.
Since your fingers are made of bone, right? And I have to.
Oh, well, all of me is made of bone.
Yes, but since you're only made of bone, and my mage hand casts or has to be recast every minute, Butler has a key ring on him. All right, and she's gonna look over at the butler. Right, he's got a key ring on him.
Tapping his foot annoyedly.
And he's been handling the key required to open the chest by which the diamonds were apparently stolen from. Knowing this. And Robert, how good are you at looking for things? Can you like scan items?
I'm pretty good at looking for things.
Okay, can you two search for any fingerprints other than Robert's on the keys?
Mine? Or the butler's?
The butler's. I'm sorry.
If we find mine, it reinforces my theory that I may have done this.
Yeah, but you're a robot. You don't have fingerprints.
Correct.
Then why would we find your fingerprints that don't exist on the key?
That
So
doesn't
you
matter.
all check the keys, and as you're looking through that, we switch over to Jesse. Jesse, you've been out there patting the dog.
Yeah.
He,
I've
at
been-
this point, has rolled over onto his stomach and is very happy.
Yeah, I've been seeing if like he can sit, lay down, shake a paw, roll over.
Yeah, he seems to know all the tricks.
Yeah, at the end of the 10 minutes, I'm gonna ask him who took the diamonds.
Oh, you're going to talk to the dog?
Yeah,
With what ability?
speak with animals. As a druid, I can ritually cast spells that I would know.
Interesting. So you cast... I mean, isn't speaking almost like a third level spell?
No,
Maybe
it's
low-
That's
wow.
first.
Holy crap, that's really good. You talk to the dog like, I'm a good boy, I'm a good boy. I have a very good steak. Hi.
Yeah. So
You're not like the other guys.
yeah, I'm Jesse. Do you know who
I
stole the
guess I'm a
diamonds?
dog.
I know, dog. Did you know? Do you know who stole the diamonds?
What?
There was some diamonds stole from inside the house. You notice any
Oh.
weird people who smelled different?
I know some weird people who smell. They're right there. They're coming right over.
I mean, other than those guys.
And actually, as you look over, there are what look like three kind of middle-aged, overweight dudes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're kind of making their way over.
Would you say that they look like Morts?
Yeah, they look kind of like Mort.
Would
And
you
they're
say
just kind of
that-
like, and then I tell them, one of the Morts says, and then I tell them, I don't know, it wasn't me, I'm a Mort, you know, I could have been anyone. And then I'm Mort's, yeah. And they're just having this conversation as they're kind of walking. They haven't seemed to notice you
Mhm.
as they're coming right toward you. You see, one of them has like a big bone in his hand.
Mhm.
And they look, they're actually dressed a little different than normal Morts. Like, you know, you can still see the white undershirt that they're wearing, visible like by their collar. But they're wearing like loose fitting, almost like guard outfits.
They still have like a white wife beater. They still have like khaki shorts.
Yeah,
but
they
they're
still
wearing
look,
guard.
they still look pretty lousy.
Yeah, with their golden chain around their neck.
Exactly, yeah, but they're wearing like chainmail too on top of that, and fake mustaches,
Okay.
and they're just coming right towards you.
Wait,
The
fake
dog's like,
mustaches?
they look like fake mustaches on top of the regular mustache.
What? That's heresy. All right.
I know.
I'm gonna talk to this guy and say, do you know how to?
Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the dog. I'm gonna say,
Okay.
do you know how to beat up a motherfucker?
I don't know. I like them. They give me treats.
Yeah, but they've been holding the real treats from you.
What?
You got a steak from me, right? These guys are only giving you bones.
The dog like looks at you, and the dog growls, which translates to something like, "Oh, you sons of bitches." And the dog seems like they're on your side.
Nice.
Would you like to roll for initiative against the Morts?
Sure.
Okay. I'd like you to roll for initiative. I'd like everyone to roll for initiative,
But
actually.
before they like see me though, I want to turn into a dinosaur.
Yeah, well, let's do that right now. That's going to
Sure.
be part of the initiative order here. Okay, that was a very good roll. So Jesse, you rolled first. Robert, second. Who's next?
Mr. Skeltal is slow. He has to put his bones back together.
Yeah, well, I think what's happening in this particular moment. Let me get these character sheet open for the Mort. The Bop. There are three
Jesse,
Morts currently.
Robert, Aewni, and then Mr. Skeltal.
All right. Yeah. Wow. Actually, strangely, Mr. Skeltal, you don't go last. The dog goes last. All right, Jesse, you are the first to go. There are three Morts. They're about maybe like 20 feet from you. They appear to be like walking from a different part of the house. Like,
20 feet, you say?
yeah, about 20 feet.
About 20 feet.
Okay, so just about 20 feet. So you become a Deinonychus, which is it's a literal velociraptor from the original Jurassic Park franchise.
Yep.
I hate
And
to
you-
be that person, but
Uh-huh.
it's Deinonychus.
Whatever.
I'd like to multi-attack.
Is it really pronounced Deinonychus? That's new to me. That's
It
very
is
cool.
pronounced Deinonychus, yes.
Yeah, absolutely is. I just looked it up. Thank you for sharing. This is an educational show.
Uh,
Let me put
so-
on the music here. Okay. You
Pounce
run
the
forward.
first mort. Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like I said, the morts are wearing chainmail, so their AC is 16.
Okay, it needs to make a strength save or be knocked prone.
Okay, let me roll for that mort. He rolls a 9.
Okay, this is with advantage. How do I change this? Advantage, here we go.
Okay.
Another claw, 15 to hit.
That'll hit. Oh, no, that'll just... Oh, he's prone, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that will just barely miss him.
And then a bite attack. 22 for 8.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. So you hit him for a total of how much? 11 that turn?
3 plus 8, yeah.
All right, so you lunge at him and start like tearing into him. And he goes, "Ah! What's going on?" And he falls prone. He's bleeding excessively. All right, so that's your turn, Jesse.
Yeah.
Okay. This mort is crying out in fear. Maybe not like the happiest music for that.
Oh, I can make a bonus action bite attack since he's prone.
Good pickup right there, Cold Spark.
Thank you. 18 for another 10.
Oh my god, yeah, that's important. He's like, oh god, you're like biting into his neck, blood spraying everywhere. He's still alive.
21 damage, he's still alive?
Yeah.
Woo!
He's got a big old club in the form of his dog bone that he was bringing over. And he's also got a heavy crossbow on his back. So that's Jesse's round. Robert, what would you like to do? As this happens, you're being led outside by the butler, who's, "That's enough looking around, thank you." And he pushes the three of you outside and closes the door. And as I imagine you turn to like object, you look over and you see a velociraptor tackling a man.
That's not your usual everyday thing you see in Central City.
It's not?
No, it's definitely not.
Huh.
Mr. Skeltal is unamused. He has seen many things in his many years.
Oh, also the velociraptor is easily recognizable as your ally, Jesse.
Well, it seems Jesse doesn't like these men.
Oh god, my face!
You can tell by the ginger bowl cut on the velociraptor.
You can tell by the blood.
How close are these morts to each other?
There are two that are like up in front, and one of them is the one Jesse's mauling. He's currently prone. The other is maybe 10 feet back. He was, I guess, clearly lagging a bit behind.
Are the two together, the two up in front, are they within 5 feet of each other?
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
But they are 50 feet from where you are currently.
Yeah, I don't care. I take out one of those what is it, like a baster?
Like a turkey baster.
Like a turkey baster.
Okay.
And I sort of squirt it in their direction, and acid splashes 60 feet from the baster onto them.
Oh jeez. Okay, well that's not horrifying at all. Well, actually, I lied. That's very horrifying. Okay, so turkey baster attack.
Yeah.
They need to roll dexterity saves.
Yes.
They both fail. And the one that was on the ground screams, "My eyes!" as he's gets splashed in the eyes with acid and is very unhappy about that. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No. No, I mean, I guess I move forward a little bit, but...
Sure. About how far from them would you like to be?
35 feet.
Very well. All right, Aewni. You can see that Robert has immediately turned and then tricky basted acid at these guys, these dudes.
I'm going to twin spell Chromatic Orb.
Okay. You conjure up 2 orbs of swirling fire?
Probably not. Let's go with lightning. That's a fun element.
Excellent. 2 orbs of crackling lightning swirl at your fingertips, and you throw them outward. Go ahead and make me 2 attack rolls. Who would you like to attack? The one on the ground? You have disadvantage if you went for him.
No, I just want to attack the guy up top, like the guy who's standing.
The 2 dudes who are standing?
Yeah.
Very well. The first one, a 7, unfortunately misses, but the second chromatic orb strikes the guy in the back, who just kind of falls over, a little injured. Or he didn't fall over, but he's burned for how much?
Hold up. So the first one misses, right?
Yes.
I'll keep it that way.
Okay. The second one hits him. Can you go ahead and give me that damage?
He gets hit by lightning for 12 damage.
12 points of lightning directly to the shoulder. Just he cries out in pain. You can see he's kind of smoldering a little bit. He seems a little weaker than some of the other guys. Aewni, would you like to move at all, or do you want to stay right at the doorway?
I'm going to move 10 feet diagonally closer and to whichever way they were, opposite to whichever way they were coming from. That way I have a better angle and can see around the corner.
Gotcha. So you kind of move opposite to the way they were coming to look around the corner. You get to the side of the house, and you see there's a door. This is clearly a guard barracks area here, where the family personal guard would stay. And it looks like they've come out from there, at least based on where they are now. That's where they must have come from, because it goes right up against the wall.
All right.
Mr. Skeltal, what would you like to do?
I believe that the Morts go before I do.
They need to go first. So the Mort on the ground stands up and goes, "Oh, what the hell? Oh, my neck!" And he kind of throws you off, Jesse. And he and the other Mort walk up and they begin to bludgeon. Well, the first one, no, they're both within 5 feet of you currently. They begin to bludgeon you with their maces, and they're going to use their Mort tactics to have advantage on the attacks.
Oh God, they're kobolds.
This is coming at you, Jesse. First attack with the mace. This is just with the bone. Is a 7 or a 12 to hit for 7. Will that connect?
Sorry. 13 AC.
Okay, so that's a miss, and then his second attack. Oh, a natural 20 for 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
26 minus 8, 18.
Okay, the other Mort makes 2 swings. A 22 for 4 bludgeoning, and a 16 for 6 bludgeoning, as these Morts just start smacking you with their stuff. The second one has a proper baton instead of a bone, but it does the same damage.
Gotcha.
The bone might even be more effective. You're not sure. That's those 2 Morts. The Mort in the back that you struck with the acid, Aewni, is going to run over toward one of the topiaries and take his crossbow, and he's going to fire a heavy crossbow at you.
Oh shit! Okay, go for it.
He critically fails.
He
shoots into the topiary, and nothing happens. Just never comes out the other side. What? He seems confused. Now it's Mr. Scott.
You do hear a small yelp, though. She's not used to being shot at by crossbows.
Fair enough.
And I assume that we can still kind of see Mr. Topiary misfire?
Yeah, he does have half cover from the topiary. The other 2 are out in the open, bludgeoning this dinosaur with weapons.
Yeah, the half damage Mr. Chrome Dome can't shoot a thing. The half cover doesn't really matter.
I'm just making fun of him.
Yep.
He goes, "I can't shoot anything!" He goes, "You're right."
And
he's very sad as he's viciously mocked.
I am going to inspire our dino friend.
Excellent. You call out a word of inspiration to your dinosaur companion. And or this is a quick play of the saxophone, or like what is your inspiration like?
This one is mostly just calling out, "Go on, Jesse! Bite him to death!"
Very straight, right to the point. The doggo lunges forward with Jesse.
Jeremy, can I ask if this lazy dog has slack tactics?
No, it has pack tactics.
Okay.
No. It lunges upon that first mort. Oh boy. And knocks. Well, let's see if he gets knocked prone. Doesn't knock him prone, but slams into him and rips into his arm. He's bleeding really heavily. Just, oh god, my arm. This is terrible. He's still up. Got a lot of hit points. As the doggo, rips forward and is fighting alongside of you, Jesse, with the hopes of getting better treats. Jesse, it's your move. That mort is barely holding on.
Well, let's give him a little nibble.
What's your passive perception, by the way?
As a dinosaur, my passive perception is...
Use your normal perception.
Oh, yeah, okay. My passive perception is 15.
Okay, so you rip onto that mort and tear his arm clean off with your critical... I assume you want to rip his arm off?
Yeah, we'll go with the arm. It's fine.
Okay, you tear his arm off, and it just kind of flops off into the brush around him, and he just blood spurts from his stump arm, and he collapses, dead. The other mort goes, "Oh shit! I gotta get out of here," and he goes to look like he's gonna run. That first mort's dead, by the way.
Okay. So it looks like he's running, right?
He's gonna, yeah.
I'll move 20 feet away from him.
That would provoke an attack of opportunity from him, but
Sure.
he's not gonna take it in this case because he's trying to flee.
Okay. Yeah, I move 20 feet away,
Okay.
and then I move 20 feet back.
Then you pounce at him. Okay, sure. Oh, God, not me too. Oh, man. Critical dinosaur.
Boy.
You lunge on his back and he's, and does he fall over?
Someone cue
He
this.
falls over. It's like as he's turning to run, like past his dead friend, you leap onto him, and it's like the claw right in the back. Just,
Oh my god!
Someone cue the
God.
soundbite for the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park just charging.
I know, right? All right, so you rip into him with the claw, right? The big claw pierces him in the back. He goes, and then you bite down onto his head and just start ripping back and
Do you want to use the Bardic Inspiration die on the second claw
On the
attack?
15? Yeah, on the 15, please.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. You're right. He doesn't die without the 15. So, yes, with that, you kill him. You bite down on the back of his and it's just, oh, God! And you just tear around and you mangle this poor soul. And he is very dead. Jesus Christ, what a round. That mort's toast. Do you just mangle him and just leave him?
I mean, with all the biting that I'm doing, it's hard not to take like a few swallows, you know.
No, of course.
Yeah, just like, I don't know.
Jesse's a growing elf.
Yeah, you know.
All right. Well, that's horrifying.
Gotta be
Robert.
careful though, because that's junk food.
Yes.
What would you like to do, Robert? There's one more left, hiding behind a topiary, who is now absolutely terrified. Also, what's
I
your
see.
passive perception?
Not good.
Okay.
Quite poor.
Very well. Go on.
I take out a small catapult.
Like a tiny model catapult.
Yes, but it's autonomous, and I direct it to get in line with that mort.
Does it just roll around the ground really slowly? Is this like
Oh no,
the
it's
movie
very
Small Soldiers?
it's very fast.
Oh, jeez.
Just whoosh.
This
and
doesn't change my question. Is this like the movie Small Soldier?
No.
Okay. That is better, I think.
It picks up a rock and throws it at a startling speed at the mort. It collapses upon you, though.
Okay, excellent, yeah. This is like an RC car. You're drone striking this mort with your little catapult. I get you. This mort... Oh my god. Not a good day to be a mort, apparently. Your catapult strikes in the side of the head and he goes, oh! And he kind of like shakes a little bit, losing some consciousness.
Very good. I move in
Well,
the
he's still
general
active.
direction.
I'm sorry. He's not unconscious, but he's like
Mhm.
losing it a little bit. He's clearly dizzy.
Yes. I move in his general direction.
Like right up to him?
No.
Okay. So just like a couple feet closer?
Yes.
Okay. Aewni.
Wait, he's holding a crossbow right now.
Currently a heavy crossbow, yeah. But he's
Does he
got a
appear to
mace
have
tied to his
Ah, never mind. I will... You know what? No, I go right up to him.
Okay, so you just charged right up to him and he's... Ugh. He looks at you.
You should surrender.
I go up. Aewni, what would you like to do?
Oh, he's giving up?
As Robert says, you should surrender. He says, I give up.
To make sure that he really does... Wait, how close is he to death?
He looks pretty beat. I mean, he's not like on the brink of death like the other guys were,
Okay,
but he's pretty beat.
in the case that he tries to run, I'm gonna Ray of Frost him.
Okay, just gonna shoot him anyway. Beautiful. You hit him. Even though he's got like half cover from the topiary, it just hasn't mattered. He goes, oh, as his like feet start to like freeze over his eyes. I said I give up. No, garden, nobody's not worth this. And he kind of holds up his
That's
hands.
okay. This is to make sure you don't run away.
He tries to run away now that you've attacked him.
Yes, but I'm gonna, just
how much does the Ray of Frost slow his feet?
10 feet.
It's 10 feet.
10? Okay, so this is good. He runs. So Aewni, did you like move right up to him?
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. So Aewni, he runs away from both of you. He does not provoke an opportunity attack. He takes the disengage action. He runs over toward like the kind of brick wall that walls off the estate on the left side, and he starts to try and climb it. Which he doesn't fall, but he's slowed from the Ray of Frost, so he just kind of like gets to the top. He's like, like hanging off the top of the wall, still mostly on your side of it, and that's the end of his turn. Mr. Skeltal, what would you like to do? I'm out of here.
Oh, out of here so soon, Mr. Bald Chickenhead.
These
Perhaps
aren't worth it. Don't make fun of him. What did you say again?
I called him a bald chicken head.
Oh, he goes, oh, it's all, I do look like I am a chicken. I'm running away. He's very upset. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Mr. Skeltal? Up with your allies?
Yeah, I'm gonna shamble up towards them, and...
What's your passive perception?
12.
Okay.
And I am going to... I will drop another inspiration on our dino friend with a little doodle of music.
I feel like someone's stealing more diamonds.
Well, the dog goes and oh wow, misses, trying to like get up to him, but he's like still hanging off the top of the wall, so he's just at a rate. He's like, oh god. Jesse, it's your move. However, out of the corner of your eye, you see something that you didn't expect. You see what looks like one of the morts that you killed move a little bit.
So I'm like doing that whole like lizard thing where like I'm crawling towards this mort on the stone wall as he's like
You're
putting
just
his
like,
leg
already
over. He like
crawling.
looks behind him for a second,
Mhm.
in that like close zoom in that the camera does to like the mort's face as he sees the dinosaur about to pounce on him. And then there's this snap, quick turn as Jesse pounces on the one that's moving.
Okay. Can you roll me an attack roll? Yeah, you rush over and you claw it, and as you do so, you strike the ripped off arm that you hit earlier, and you claw it right with your big talons, and your particularly large claw like digs right into the middle and pulls it out from the shrubbery where it just was, and you see it's very much dead, but you also see a line on its finger where a ring maybe once was, just a moment before. And you look, and in the shrubbery a ways away, you see little bits of movement.
Oh, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
Run after it. I have 40 feet of movement, so
Okay.
chasing.
You rush into the shrubbery. What would you like to do? You don't see anything. You just saw the shrubs like rustle a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking for a ring, something shiny.
Roll me a perception check then. That'll be, well, you already used I'm going to say this can be part of the same perception check. Roll me a perception check. An active perception.
Okay, 15 isn't good enough, guys.
15 noticed you something. Yeah, you're just seeing more shrubs rustling ahead of you, heading like right toward the wall. Well, actually, probably heading toward the pond, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that bardic.
Oh, ooh, that bardic inspiration.
15.
15. Let me roll this stealth check. Yeah. So I think what happens, how far do you run? Like 40 feet? So you make it most of the way back toward the pond, and you can see just ahead of you a very small, hunched creature, maybe like the size of a goblin. And it's wearing like tattered robes, and it's just kind of like scuttling, running pretty quickly toward the koi pond, about 10 feet ahead of you at the end of your movement.
Oh my god, I'm chasing him.
Okay, do you like call out to your allies in some way? You just like do a velociraptor roar?
Well, everyone knows that all humans can speak with dogs, clearly, as we've seen in the movie Lassie. So I'm gonna speak with animals to the dog to tell them to bring my allies to kill me here.
All right, I'm gonna say you roar out like a dinosaur then.
Sure.
Robert, it's your turn.
Wait, if I'm an animal and I have speak with animals active, does that mean I can speak?
Robert, it's your turn. To your left, maybe like 60 feet out, you see this small hunched creature. You notice it now due to Jesse's roar. And then up ahead of you, you see the mort like trying to climb over the wall.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Well, I turn toward the small creature.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it's pretty much. It's very hard to tell what it is, but it's got like the pointy goblin ears
Does it have
that
black
poke out
skin?
from beneath. It's like burlap.
Does it have dark, like black skin?
Can't see any of that because it's wearing like a burlap bag. But I think maybe you have an idea of what it is as a player.
Also, that's very bad to say on live stream. Does it have black skin?
It has a very dark blue skin, actually, but that's unrelated.
Is it? Okay. I will. I will
Gray.
move 60 feet toward it.
All right, you run right up to it, and as you look at it, you can see that beneath the little burlap cloak it's wearing, it is mostly head. It's like head is about the size of a human head, like a normal human head. It's got these kind of like big, light yellow eyes. It has no hair at all, except for a little bit that kind of pokes out of its big ears. And it's got a very, very short body and very lanky arms and legs. And it looks up and goes, ah, oh no! It makes like a sound of surprise as you get up to it.
Hello, small fey creature.
Do any of you speak Sylvan?
Can
Nobody?
I ask a question to be safe?
Sure.
Is Hiyori's stuffed kobold changed at all?
No, not a kobold. Absolutely not a kobold. This is clearly a little fey being. And actually, you can see very clearly it's leaving these very oily footsteps in its
I
wake.
do actually speak Sylvan.
So you understand it when it goes, oh no! And you see in one hand it has this little diamond ring that it has stolen off the dead Mort.
I say in Sylvan, hello.
Okay.
You should surrender.
I am Robert. Do not run.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage. It did just watch you brutally murder a Mort.
That could be used as intimidation.
All right, Aewni, it's your turn.
How far away is it
What's
from?
the intent intimidation, Robert?
I think to an extent.
In that case, if you would like, you can roll me a new check that is intimidation. I will not give you disadvantage.
All right. It's my
Will you
intimidation's
give
worse.
us? Will you give us advantage?
There you go. 8.
No, I will not give you advantage.
So, I'm gonna walk us, or, kind of go over as close as possible. The other Mort that's, crossing the thing.
Yeah, you can walk right up to him. He's having trouble getting over the wall. He's pretty overweight, out of shape.
Okay, I'm gonna quicken spell Ray of Frost at him.
Okay. He has disadvantage. He's currently climbing.
I have
Sorry, you have
disadvantage, or he
advantage.
does?
You have advantage because he's currently climbing. Sorry, I forgot Ray of Frost didn't tackle. Yeah, you blast out a ray of icy frost which strikes him, and oh gosh. I imagine it freezes up around his waist as he's climbing, just and he's trying to pull himself over, and he kind of lets go and loses grip. And there's a snapping sound, and as he collapses to the ground, slain, his legs are still frozen to the wall, but the rest of him is on the ground. As
Awesome.
your ray of frost has snapped his legs clean off. He's toast.
Awesome. Since that was a quicken spell, and I am now slightly in range of this goblin, I'm going to Ray of Frost at the goblin, too,
All
or
right.
whatever it is.
Yes. It looks over. Oh no! Is what it says in Sylvan. You hit him with that. Oh jeez, how many hit points do you have, buddy? Not a lot. Oof. Oh no, he's in bad shape. Your Ray of Frost strikes him and he goes, ah! And seems to really suffer for it.
It also can't run very far anymore.
Mm-hmm. It is very unhappy.
That's the rest of my turn as I try and catch up.
Brutal. All right, Mr. Skeltal, the Morts are all dead, so what would you like to do? See this creature?
How far am I from the creature?
You are about 50 feet, like the rest of your party were.
Okay. This.
Very clever move. You, is this like a strum of your saxophone? Like a, or is this more of an
Yeah, this is a 2. This is a 2 on the saxophone. It's not something you would be strumming. It's a woodwind.
Yeah, so I know, I misspoke. So I imagine it's almost like, right, you're playing the octave, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and he just begins to float up into the air. He gets to roll a Constitution saving throw, correct?
Correct. Unless he's willing to float.
He's not. Gets a 13?
That will unfortunately save.
Oh, will it? Man, that must have been right on the money, huh?
Exactly on the money.
Yeah, so he starts to float, just, oh no! Is what it calls out in Sylvan, which only Robert knows. And
What?
the Boggle. Huh? Just
I
a
also
female Sylvan?
Yeah.
Oh, so you understand this guy too, and he goes, I don't want to die! And it's going to run forward toward the pool. Robert, you do have an attack opportunity if you'd like it.
Does
Sure.
he understand Raptor?
Kind of hard to tell. It might. You never know. At this point, you can
Okay,
tell very
but
clearly
yeah.
it is terrified that you're going to kill it.
When he says I don't want to die, say too bad in Raptor.
Oh, jeez.
I smack it with a hammer.
Oh,
Non-lethally.
Non-lethally. All right, go ahead and make your attack roll. Oh, you hit it with your hammer. It's still up as you bludgeon it off the head, and it goes, oh, like big
Please,
old tongue hanging out of its
surrender.
mouth. And at this point, it's like burlap cloak has kind of fallen off, and you see this like weird, lanky little creature. It runs forward toward one of the little stone art installations. It is an image of like, you know, a cloaked figure like holding a lantern, but the lantern part's hollow and put like big candles in or something. And it runs up and kind of like leaps and dodges sideways and goes through a little the little side frame of the lantern and disappears. And when it goes through that, Aewni and Mr. Skeltal, actually I think all of you can really see it, you see over by the gate about 70 feet away, it reappears through one of the gate bars. And it starts running away on the street, albeit it doesn't get actually any further from the gate because of the ray of frost. So it just tumbles to the ground right outside the gate. And that is all it do.
Is it still in range?
It is pretty far from you right now. It's about 100 feet from you because it teleported a big way. I'm sure it can go that.
So, can we possibly cross up the side of the wall?
Actually, it's only about 60 feet from you. My apology.
Oh, that's
I
in
realize how far it
range.
can go. Yeah, so it's actually not quite at the gate yet. What would you like to do? It's actually Jesse's turn.
It's within 60 feet of me?
Yes, it's 50 feet from you. It has ducked. I'll think, because it can't quite get to the gate, it will duck into some of the shrubs to at least have some cover there.
So it's more than my 40 feet movement speed can reach?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I will move 40
You roll a dexterity saving throw.
as the raptor, correct?
Yes. As you rush forward directly in its path, there's just a huge pile of slippery oil in its wake that you couldn't see very well in amongst the grass and other greenery here. And you, like the Velociraptor on the rollers, you trip and fall over, splashing into the koi pond.
Yeah, I'll stand up and use the rest of my movement to move towards the sky.
Okay.
However much I have.
So yeah, you slipped like almost immediately, after about 10 feet. So you have 40-foot speed?
Yeah.
So you lost 20 to the fall. And if you double moved, you'd be able to get 60. So
No,
you could.
just normal movement.
Okay, so just with one move, that gets you
Yeah, and then I'll
Like,
bonus action wild
still
shape
40 feet off.
out.
Okay. So just you climb out the other side of the koi pond and turn back into you.
And that leaves me within 20, right?
No, that leaves you quite a ways away.
Because I was 50 from him, right?
You only got 20 feet closer to him that round
You
because
had
you
to
fell
get
prone.
up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I have 30 feet left, right?
Yes, that should be correct for you.
Okay. Then I will use an action to cast Long Strider on myself.
Okay. All right. Next in the order, Robert.
Yes.
He's 40 feet from you.
40 from
And-
me.
It seems desperate and like very anxious. It seems like it probably would have given up and talked to you, maybe, if it hadn't immediately been attacked. But then Aewni blasted it.
Hmm. Well, nothing for it. I
Them some cold robot words.
take out my light crossbow and line up my shot.
Alrighty. Oh, you hit him. Oh, poor Boggle. Oh my god, he's got one hit point.
Oh boy. I yell out, surrender, please.
You shoot him through the ear and it just it collapses onto the ground. It's just like got its hands over its head. It's thrown you saw the ring just go whoo, fly off into the air and land somewhere. And it's just like, I give up, please no.
I walk 30 feet toward it.
Okay. Aewni, what would you like to do? You see this wretched creature like writhing on the ground in front of Robert.
It seems to have surrendered, I yell out.
Is there any way to non-lethally shoot it with a ray of frost?
Absolutely not. Not with a ranged magical attack like that.
Alright.
If you were up there, you could club it, but...
It's... Okay, so you're saying it was 40 feet away from Robert.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it that close to Robert. I shot at it from a distance, and you're saying
Yeah.
you're behind us?
You're about 70 feet from it currently. Trying to keep all the distances correct in my brain.
Okay, where'd he throw the thing?
Where'd the ring go? It just landed on the grass somewhere. You could probably find it if you wanted.
I would like to do that, but I also, you know what? I'm gonna cast Bless.
Oh, who you blessing?
Robert.
I mean, you can bless 3 people if you want.
Yeah, oh yes, I'm aware. Actually, I'll bless Mr. Skeltal too.
Excellent. Mr. Skeltal, it's your turn. Do you also move forward, Aewni? I assume you're just moving up, right?
Yeah, I'm moving to see if I can find this ring.
Yeah, at the end of your turn, it's about 10 feet away. It's just lying in the grass. The Boggle seems to have just chucked it while it was running. It just gave up. Mr. Skeltal, what would you like to do?
I'm going to step forward. Can I get within 60 feet of it?
Oh yeah, easy. I mean,
So yeah, I'm going to
no problem.
make sure that I get within 60 feet of it and tell it, if you run, you will not enjoy it. And ready a vicious mockery.
Okay. All right. The doggo has grabbed the bone that one of the morts was using in the club and has left the combat and is just chowing down. Jesse, as you're getting up, it looks like your allies have committed to a non-violent solution here, having detained and captured the creature.
Alright, I'm gonna run up to it, unarmed strike, non-lethal, stomp its toes.
Okay, you go and stomp on its big toes. It has some huge feet. It's like disproportionate. It's got like human-sized feet and hands, but it's like 1.5 feet tall, and it's mostly head. It's
I'll say, Boggle comes and Boggle goes, steals your rings, and stomps your toes. Poof.
Excellent. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage.
Alright.
Now, it's prone, it's like groveling, right? It's not like doing anything.
14.
14?
You're proficient with unarmed strikes.
Yeah, you'll absolutely hit him. So yeah, you stomp on his toes and he goes, ow! And he falls unconscious, just collapsing in a heap. This tiny little goblinoid creature. And as you do so, you all hear, as you see the creature, the Boggle collapse. You're kind of near the gate now, only about 20 feet in. You hear a voice call out. It is the voice of a small girl. And she calls out, "Wait, stop!" And you can see that she has run over, also wearing kind of like dirty, kind of burlap clothes, clearly scavenged from the alleyways here in Central City. This urchin girl. "Don't hurt him!" And she's kind of like up against the gate. Just let him go.
I open the gate.
Okay, you walk over, and I assume you pick up the Boggle.
Yes.
he kind of just like hangs from his little arms because he's for his very long, lanky arms. And he's like, now that he's unconscious, he's not slippery at all. He's just got like regular, almost kind of like sandpapery skin to him. Very rough. And the girl looks up at you, and you can see that, you know, she's got dirt all over her. She's clearly an urchin from here in the city. But she has in her hands a little pouch. She says, you can have all these back. Just don't hurt my friend.
Oh no, we do not need those back. We were tasked with stopping the robberies. You can keep those. We were expressly tasked with stopping the robberies.
This little girl looks up at all of you. He really felt bad for me because I didn't have any money, so he went and stole a bunch of stuff.
I see. I take out a some cobbler's tools and tap his feet with them.
Okay.
Fixing his toes.
Oh, fixing his toe where they have been stomped on previously. Okay.
Correcting his toes. That's a cure wounds for the record.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing as this interaction's happening?
Aewni's actually gonna walk up to the girl and just, you know, deadpan ask for 10 diamonds and no more.
Okay. She kind of like holds open the little pouch, and it's filled with like diamond jewelry. He felt really, I don't know, he said they were important because the merchants wanted them, and then he kept bringing them back. I can buy so much bread with these.
Yes, those are worth quite a bit of money. From my
you.
understanding.
Aewni is only going to take 10 of them. She will specifically count out 10.
The boggle kind of like sits up and goes,
I'm still holding it
around.
I don't know how much.
He's hanging from your hands.
How much are the diamonds worth? If I can ask.
There, you grab 10 of them.
Yes, I have 10.
Most of them are pretty much worthless. However, one of them is probably worth about 1,000 gold. They're just, I mean, not worthless, right? They're just like 20 or 40 gold piece diamonds that like people would have for whatever occasion. But one of them is incredibly nice. You would guess it's probably worth like 1,000 bucks. Or 1,000 gold. No Bartholomew.
Perfect.
And yeah, she looks at the rest. You're not gonna do anything to us, right?
Mr. Skeltal removes one of his arms, walks over to the girl, and gently bonks her on the head with his humerus. You need to control your friends better.
The boggle kind of looks up and goes, and the translation in Sylvan, which of course Jesse and Robert, you both understand for some reason. I don't know why Robert understands Sylvan, but it's, I just couldn't help it.
Don't say that, or I'll have to snap your neck.
Its eyes kind of like,
No more stealing from the rich.
Don't worry, I'll make sure he doesn't steal anymore.
No more stealing from the rich. And I say, and then I sort of pause and say, for now, and my eyes sort of flash like red for half a second.
The girl kind of like looks at all of you. Can we go? We won't do it anymore.
Very well.
Aewni's gonna give 9 of the diamonds back, except for the one that's like really high quality.
I don't.
You can buy bread with this. You can buy.
She seems like very confused by this whole situation. She goes on to her little friend.
Aewni took only the one.
Jesse is going to take all of the diamonds and is going to hand the little girl a stack of cash.
She's gonna take the diamonds and have some cash. What?
Yeah.
Thank you. I can buy a lot of bread with this.
Yes,
I think
Mr. Skeltal attempts to grab a couple of the diamonds and replace the good berries that he put in his eye sockets with the diamonds.
I let him do this.
Yeah, and she kind of looks at you. Oh, well, I guess we don't have to steal anymore, Boggle. And the Boggle just kind of shrugs.
I would
Also, you
suggest
don't have to
focusing-
try to find a fence to sell all those stolen diamonds to. You can just take the unmarked notes.
Oh, he would steal the bread and leave the diamonds.
That's an even worse idea. Yeah, no, I'm glad I did this.
She kind of looks at all of you. All right, well, I think me and Boggle are gonna go then.
Okay.
Boggle.
I would
The Boggle looks up at you,
suggest-
Robert.
We will meet again. I need your oil.
The Boggle just kind of looks at you. All right.
I would suggest putting that money in useful applications.
I'm gonna get food for all the urchins with this.
Hmm.
This is great.
Well,
I mean, I've already been doing that with the diamonds, but if you need to find me, you just ask around. My name's Ever.
All right.
All right. Well, bye.
Diamonds are not forever.
She kind of like scoots back. I don't like the way you said that.
I've
the
heard
Boggle-
diamonds are a girl's best friend. Were they your best friend ever?
That's a different adventure. She and the Boggle kind of like scoot away since you're letting them go. And then, in a way, very similar to the Boggle, right? The Boggle like goes to like leap between the bars of the gate and disappears when they pass through them. But the little girl jumps after him, following and also disappearing into the bustling streets beyond. And the four of you stand, seemingly having solved at least the puzzle of what was going on here and dealt with the issue.
I
in
checked
yard
the bag of
noble.
diamonds. Is there Bartholomew bucks in there?
Weird. There are exactly 400 Bartholomew bucks in that
Oh.
bag. And
Wow.
as you all distribute them as you're mentally compelled to do, you look amongst each other and really think about what you want to do, and you hear the butler's voice echoing in the background. Where are all those guards? These morts are so unreliable. Just kind of echoing throughout the place.
Oops.
Before we leave, I want to
Mhm.
leave the guards on the front step for Butler. Seems to be missing his guards.
All right, so you leave a gruesome message for this random guy. Okay, and you make your way out. And so, our little adventure comes to an end. You leave a gruesome trail of blood in your wake, and you have solved the problem, giving this poor urchin a wad of cash to hopefully solve her problems and not cause more. And none of the characters I cared about are dead, so I'm happy. But I figured that Boggle was gonna die. Congratulations! You've all earned your 100 Bartholomew bucks experience, and you've completed this adventure. Would anybody like to shop? Yeah, would anybody like to shop real quick?
Can I use diamonds as currency?
No.
Cool.
Anyways.
I would like to shop though.
Go ahead.
You're on the shop now. The
You stand
land
in the
of
shop.
peace.
Bartholomew stands before you. Greetings, adventurers. You have earned a number of diamonds, I see. Is there anything I can get for you with real money?
Real money?
Yes, the money that I give out. My fiat currency, that's real
Ah.
money.
I found these in the bag of diamonds. I was told that these are useful.
Yes, what can I get for you?
Four lesser potions, please.
Done and done.
I
Hand
would
you
like
over 4 potions.
one flavored as Bartholomew.
Nope, I don't sell that flavor. The only one I don't sell.
Do you sell Roger flavor?
Yep, we do sell that one.
Oh, come
Okay.
on!
I'll get one of those. One flavored as potion, one flavored as healing, and one flavored as potion of healing.
That one actually is that one's standard. I don't even need to do anything to the last one, but the other ones we can make for you. And he hands you over 4 potions. Anything else I can get for you, Jesse?
That's all. Thank you.
How much are these worth?
The question, what?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Oh, does anyone else have anything they'd like to purchase at this time?
Do you have a gun?
A number of them in the bag, if you'd like to make a...
No.
All right. In that case, we'll be back soon. Oh, wait.
I would like 1 glamour and 1 charm of lesser magic, please.
A couple of classics right there. What do you want your item to look like? What are you glamoring?
I am going to be glamoring an arcane focus for a character who I have not yet played.
Oh. Hello, stranger in the shop. Yes, I can provide a glamour. I don't know how you came into these Bartholomew books outside of service. Must have picked them up somewhere strange. But yes, we can certainly glamour that for you.
Throom wanders in requesting the glamour.
Very well. Throom, we will do this for you. And he also hands you over a charm of lesser magic. And now, I believe that we'll be back soon with our third and final adventure of the evening. Hold tight, everyone.